Most men think they are confident. They have the clothes, they have the talk, they have the social media presence. But ask them one question: who are you? And watch the room go completely silent. If you don't have trust in your abilities, qualities, and judgments, you don't have confidence. What you have is comfort. Today I break down what it means to be a highly confident gentleman and why most men are faking it. Let's get into it. High self-confidence starts by answering one question. And that question is, who are you? Strip away your name, strip away what you have, strip away what you do, and you have to be able to answer who you truly are. And the fact of the matter is, most men walk around with an inflated, or deflated level of self-confidence, not understanding what it truly is in definition, but also what it truly is in action. So guess what? When they get in an environment, when they get in the room and the pressure is high, the confidence leaks. The posture changes, the facial expressions changes, the emotions get high. And that's not walking in confidence. Every single gentleman that I know that has true confidence stands the test of time. When I say stand the test of time, I mean under the pressure, and there will be pressure. Life has a very significant way of bringing you pressure, and those pressures will be mandated or thwarted by your level of confidence, but also your level of competence. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about 6 signs that you can tell you have high self-confidence. Ready? Let's dive into it. Before we dive into that, let's define what confidence is. Confidence is this, or self-confidence. Let's be more specific. Your self-confidence, the definition of self-confidence is this: the trust you have in your abilities, your qualities, and your judgments. Let's say that again. It is the trust that you have in your abilities, your qualities, and your judgments. So if you don't trust in your abilities, if you don't trust in your qualities, if you don't trust in your judgments, then guess what? You don't have confidence. You have a level of comfort that will not stand the pressures of society, and therefore you will crumble and leak your confidence at each and every nuance and challenge that comes against you. So now let's talk about these 6 signs so that you can understand clearly what it looks like to be a confident man. All right, here we go. Point number 1. You trust in your abilities and you act on them. You don't sit for years. You don't engage in paralysis analysis. You don't fake it until it's just some sort of semblance of making it. No, you act. You act on what you're supposed to be doing. You act on the things that even may be challenging. You act on the things that also may have a level of initial fear. But because confidence is dynamic, confidence is not static, confidence is moving, or your confidence should be moving, now we act on what we should do. And we have 6 strategies of execution because we act on certain things: speed, accuracy, timing, power, savviness, and finesse. Those are the 6 strategies of execution. So as you get better and more competent, guess what? You'll even act with more speed. You'll have more accuracy because you now have garnered a level of not just competence, but also accomplishments. Your timing gets better. Everything else has everything to do with how you're going to portray your level of confidence. Remember, you trust in your abilities. You act on those abilities. You'll start the business. You'll start doing whatever it is that you have thought about for your future state. It's not about being paralyzed, it's about momentum. And confident people, we don't have all the answers right then and there, but guess what? We get the answers sometimes as we are going along the way, as we're going down the path, as we're instituting, as we're walking in the journey. That's where we get the answers. Confidence is dynamic. We act and trust in our abilities. Let's talk about point number 2. You respect your qualities and you raise your standards. You don't downplay your strengths. You don't downplay your skill sets. You don't downplay your competence. When you open your mouth, it's more uplifting about yourself. It's also interlaced with your self-esteem. These types of things actually matter. So if you have high self-confidence, you will respect your qualities. You put those qualities and you hold your qualities to a higher standard. Most people, most men that I know of, or at least I would say this: the average man that's walking around is walking around with a lower standard, not learning more, not challenging himself and growing, not increasing the level of competence and skill sets, let's say even for communication or leadership skills. All these things that they hold themselves to a lower standard. They talk still like they used to talk when they were back in the day, teenager years, on the street, talking still hood talk, hasn't elevated their level of communication. But they'll get mad at you because now that you have mastered the skill set of communication, so if you're a gentleman and you have aspired, you have garnered accomplishments after accomplishment after accomplishment, and guess what? They'll be a little bit more upset about you because you are now adhering to what the gentleman's standard should be. You raise the bar for them, and guess what? They can't see over that bar. They can't even walk up to it and match it. They can't jump over it. They'll have to just go under that until they raise their own standards, and then the qualities that they have instituted for themselves, they will rise as well. And everything in their life will get better, just like everything in their life got better for you as a gentleman. As when you became a man, from a boy to a teenager, adolescent, now to the man stage, and then I should say now the gentleman stage, you have a totally different life. But you value your qualities, you respect those qualities. Point number 3, let's dive into that. You trust your judgment and decide. You're no longer indecisive. Indecisiveness is expensive. Let that settle in for a moment. It costs you a lot by being indecisive. And men who are confident, high self-confidence, don't second guess their judgments, their decisions that they've made. Let's say you do make a decision, you say, oh my gosh, this might be the wrong decision. Guess what? We'll correct it as we come along later on. We're not going to worry about that not being the right decision to make. We made the decision. Now let's make the outcome the way we want it to be. That's confidence. We are moving forward. We've made a decision. It doesn't matter if it's a minute, very easy decision like what am I going to eat later on for lunch, also a very, very complex of how do I launch this particular strategy. We don't second guess, we move forward. Let's talk about number 4. You're assertive and you're humble. Here's a little thing about confidence when you increase your confidence. Most people, when they increase their confidence, other people, because they haven't seen them as confident, now they start saying this person's a little bit arrogant. Sometimes people go into the level of arrogance because they're trying so hard to be confident. All the concepts and the information that we give them regarding confidence, oftentimes they might, not all the time, they might get into a level of arrogance. Then they have to level it out. But they're trying new things. They're saying new things. They speak differently. And oftentimes people recognize something different about this person, and it didn't match up to the way this person used to be. So now they think they're better than me. Well, that will normalize also. It'll normalize for you on your side. It'll normalize for their side of the equation as well. But the good thing about it is that you are now talking more sure. You're talking more direct. You're talking with more commitment. You're talking more complete. You're talking with more concreteness in your voice. You're not utilizing low power phrases. I think I might be able to, perhaps maybe, and you're not utilizing filler words. You know what I'm saying? All these other things that I'm talking about that lower your confidence in someone else's eyes about you when you are utilizing them. So we have this confident way of communicating this. We have the assertive voice. Now we no longer have the passive aggressive voice or the arrogant voice or the passive voice. So right here, the gold standard, assertiveness. Being assertive in our communication, that's the best way for any gentleman to aspire to be, is confident in his communication. Start there first, and people tend to write the way they talk. And if you are correctly speaking in the right confident manner verbally, then guess what? Your written communication and also your nonverbal communication will also transform into a more assertive, confident person. Point number 5. You set boundaries and enforce them. You don't beg for respect, you require it. Boundaries that you have set, and I always say this in my program, we teach people how to communicate with us, but we also teach people how to treat us. And if you have a certain standard, which you should, and you've created these boundaries, here's the line. When someone decides to step across that line, even with the smallest of their toes, then you, guess what? Then you enforce the boundary. Well, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do this instead. You're confident in upholding those boundaries. No, we're not gonna act that way. We're gonna be professional towards each other, right? And get confirmation. Because you can match energy and get outside of your frame. But confident gentlemen will stay in their frame, but also set the law back in order. That's what it takes to be confident. Understanding that your boundaries are something that you create based on your standards, and guess what? When someone tries to cross those boundaries, you're the one that's gonna put up the hand and say, nope, not like that. This is how we operate in this camp over here. All right, let's talk about the final point number 6. Ready? Here we go. You communicate with outcome-oriented command. You have masterful command over how you communicate. And your communication is strategic, it's deliberate, it's intentional, and therefore when people hear you, you draw them in. There's not one confident gentleman that I know that when he speaks, he doesn't draw people in. Very tantamount to the guy in the Dos Equis commercial. You ever seen those Dos Equis commercials? The most interesting men in the world. Very confident, grizzled gentleman, and commands the room by how he's communicating, commands the room by what he's doing. People pay attention, they draw people in. People are enthralled, they're thrilled to see the guy. Well, that's the same thing that will avail for you when you walk in your confidence. Again, confidence is dynamic, it's not static. 1, it's ever evolving. 2, but it's also very fluid in how you interact with other people. Confidence is the main thing for a gentleman because it involves your presence, it involves your competence, it involves your masculinity. And that's one thing that we see in society right now is under attack is masculinity. And guess what? If you're confident, you won't be shaken by what society, what the mainstream media talks about, all this toxic masculinity. You won't be shaken by that. You'll stand firm, you still stand confident in your position. You can't fake it. The opposite of everything that I mentioned, all 6 points, that's how you know someone is faking the confidence. It breaks down under pressure. It leaks under pressure till it's non-existent, and you don't have masterful command over how you speak. When I say masterful command, again, everything you say is strategic, deliberate, direct, because that's how gentlemen talk. It doesn't matter if we're talking to a man, it doesn't matter if we're talking to a woman. The tone may change depending on the situation, but guess what? We're still confident. And again, there's an equation I want you to remember. Your confidence will increase when you increase your competence and you garner more accomplishments. That's the equation. All right, folks, Grandison Shines here with the League of Prestigious Gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do follow us on the medium that you're watching this particular video. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Gentlemen, if you are so inclined, join the private Facebook group that's just for men. We also just launched a page where we'll be putting more content for men and women. And women can send their sons or their husbands to these pages as well. But there is a private Facebook group that's just for men. So if you want to be more confident, if you want to increase your status as a gentleman, join the private Facebook group and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.